Are you feeling the effects of a struggling economy? From a declining housing market to skyrocketing home prices, financial turmoil and job cuts, it's no secret that times are tough. But it's not just the economy that's in chaos. The cost of living is on the rise and basic necessities are becoming harder to afford. In this video, we uncover 20 shocking signs that our society is rapidly deteriorating. From the contrast of millions going hungry while corporations waste food to the staggering amount of food wasted by supermarkets each year. Join us as we uncover the truth and provide insight into the current state of our economy. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to stay informed. Let's dive in and uncover the truth together. One of the signs is the contrast of millions of people going hungry while corporations waste large amounts of food every day. A study by the California Integrated Waste Management Board found that 63% of the average supermarket's waste stream is food, amounting to 3,000 pounds of wasted food per store each year. This highlights the issue of corporations choosing to throw away food instead of donating to charities or lowering prices in their own stores to clear inventory. Number 2. The consumption of unhealthy foods is alarmingly high. Data from the National Center for Health Statistics shows that 37% of all Americans eat fast food every 24 hours, which equates to 84.8 million adults consuming fast food daily. Health officials warn that excessive consumption of high-calorie fast food can lead to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and other health problems. However, many people cite long working hours as preventing them from cooking at home, while others simply cannot afford healthier options. Number 3. The cost of basic foods is now out of reach for many Americans, with the price of vegetables rising 38% in November alone and 80% since the same period a year ago. It's no surprise that many people are only able to afford cheaper staples or are forced to eat fast food. University earns over $4 million a year, while teachers and other essential public workers earn significantly less. Given that the supply of vegetables is still low nationwide, price instability is expected to persist in the months ahead. Number 4. The highest paid employee in nearly all US states is a football coach. According to federal data analyzed by USA Today, in 40 states, football coaches have the highest salaries among all public workers. Even though they can help sports teams generate funding for colleges from merchandising, ticket sales, and an increase in enrollment numbers as the team wins trophies, it is hard to justify that someone like Ed Orgeron, head football coach at Louisiana State University, earns over $4 million a year, while teachers and other essential public workers earn significantly less. University earns $4 million annually, nearly 30 times more than the state governor John Paul Edwards. In South Carolina, the disparity is even more pronounced as Clemson football coach Devers Swinney takes home $9.3 million every year in comparison to Governor Henry McMaster's relatively measly $106,100. By contrast, workers that serve the public every day like teachers and nurses make $42,507 and $65,090 per year respectively. With so many problems plaguing our society, we definitely think that taxpayer money should be used more wisely. Number 5. More than half of all American workers earn less than $31,000 per year, making it difficult for them to make ends meet and support their families. According to a study by Oxfam America, an anti-poverty advocacy group, 133 million workers make less than $15 an hour. It is alarming that at a time when many US companies are seeing record profits, some of the hardest working people in this country are struggling to get by and falling behind. It's been almost a decade that wages fail to keep up with the rate of inflation, and as interest rates continue to soar, we will see our purchasing power getting increasingly lower, said Caitlin Anderson, the study's author and senior research advisor at Oxfam America. This highlights the need for fair wages and better support for low-income workers in the country. A significant number of adults are still living with their parents. According to property management data, 25% of millennials are currently living with their parents. This is particularly concerning as millennials are considered adults between the ages of 26 to 41. The fact that 1 in 4 have moved back in with their parents is a distressing trend. Many cite high rent, financial concerns, and job losses as reasons for this trend. Even those who said they can't afford rent, 91% said they would move out if they made more money, but unfortunately, most jobs out there are low-paid positions, making it difficult to live on a limited budget. This highlights the issue of rising cost of living and lack of affordable housing options in the country. Number 7. People are becoming increasingly reliant on their smartphones. We are spending less time focusing on real life and constantly zoning out by checking social media, playing video games, and online shopping using our phones. A new revealing study published by Tech Jury showed that the average US adult logs 6 hours and 43 minutes of screen time daily. For American teenagers, the average is even higher, spending approximately 9 hours a day in front of screens. 13% of millennials spend over 12 hours on their phones daily, while baby boomers spend around 5 hours. The average person checks their phone roughly 63 times per day, meaning that many people are choosing to spend a quarter of their day in a virtual world. This is not a good sign for society. Number 8. People are struggling to put a roof above their heads, highlighting the issue of affordable housing and the struggle of low-income individuals and families to access decent living conditions. The problem of affordable housing is becoming increasingly severe, with more than half of citizens unable to afford somewhere to live. The December Housing Affordability Survey found that 55% of Americans can't afford to buy a home at current prices and interest rates. Meanwhile, 62% of renters are concerned about their ability to pay rent. A separate survey conducted by Rewards at Pinata, a program that works with renters to build their credit and take cash back for paying their rent, found that 30% of US renters have taken out a loan to help pay rent in the past 12 months. And right now, about 15% of them, or about 8 million people, are late on rent. As prices continue to soar, this means that many families are at risk of losing their homes as we enter 2023. This highlights the need for more affordable housing options and support for low-income renters. Unfortunately, the official forecast is that housing will continue to be expensive throughout the entire year. Unemployment is on the rise again. US job cuts were 649% higher in December than they were during the same time a year ago, when employers were scrambling to find workers and even offering them sizable bonuses, paid vacations, and even Apple Watches. Hiring has slowed as companies take a cautious approach entering 2023, said Andrew Challenger, Senior Vice President of the employment firm. And those figures are likely to grow even higher as businesses struggle with ramp-up costs. This highlights the need for policies that support job creation and job security for American workers. The decline in manufacturing suggests that our economy is stagnating. Last month, we saw the biggest drop in manufacturing activity since the early days of the pandemic. The S&P Global US Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index fell the most since May 2020 in December, a continuing sign that the manufacturing sector is on the decline. The index posted a 46.2 in December, down from 47.7 in November, and solidly below 50, which signals that the sector is contracting. According to S&P Global, production levels are contracting alarmingly fast as companies cite weakening demand, economic uncertainty, and inflation weighing on customers. This highlights the need for policies to support the manufacturing sector and boost demand for American-made products. Auto sales have collapsed harder than ever before seen this decade. Number 11, incarceration. The incarceration problem in the United States has reached staggering proportions. Despite representing only 4.2% of the world's population, approximately 22% of the global prison population is in the United States. Since 2019, state and federal jail incarcerations have risen by 14%. At the same time, many major cities have seen triple-digit increases in offenses such as theft and carjacking. The question is, why are so many people in prison, and why are delinquencies continuing to reach new highs in our urban centers? This is not a desirable situation, and it seems that our leaders are not paying enough attention to such critical matters for our society. Number 12. The state of our infrastructure of the United States, a nation of great wealth, is a source of embarrassment. According to the American Road and Transportation Builders Association, there are nearly 56,000 bridges in the United States that are structurally deficient and at risk of collapse. To make matters worse, these bridges are crossed by 185 million vehicles daily. This is a concerning and unacceptable situation that requires immediate attention. Number 13. The US healthcare system is a racket that prioritizes profits over patients. The healthcare industry is valued at $3.5 trillion and continues to grow at the expense of average Americans. If it were a country, it would have the 5th largest GDP in the world, behind only the US, China, Japan, and Germany. This is a shocking reality, as healthcare providers prioritize financial gain over providing adequate care and treatment to those in need. Millions of Americans go bankrupt annually due to medical debt, while healthcare companies report record profits. Like many other aspects of our society, the healthcare industry is driven by the pursuit of financial gain, and it is morally wrong. Number 14. Retail sales have been plummeting, with the holiday season being particularly dire for many retailers. Since September, retail spending and manufacturing have been declining at a worrying pace, but the slowdown experienced during the busiest shopping season of the year was particularly alarming. Retail sales dropped by 6%, the largest decline since the last recession, as consumers cut back on spending. This is extremely bad news for companies that are on the brink of bankruptcy. Industry experts predict that widespread store closures are likely in the near future. Number 15. Unemployment is on the rise again, with job cuts in the United States being 649% higher in December compared to the same time the previous year. Employers were previously struggling to find workers, even offering bonuses, paid vacations, and other incentives to attract them. However, hiring has slowed as companies adopt a more cautious approach heading into 2023, according to Andrew Challenger, Senior Vice President at an employment firm. These figures are likely to continue to increase as businesses struggle with rising costs and other challenges.